Hi, I am M. Jagadish, Associate Professor in CSC Department. In this session, we discuss about standard exceptions. Standard exceptions means there are some exceptions out there which are going to throw by the base class. Basically, C++ language provides a base class which is meant to declare the objects, and those objects can be thrown as exceptions. When we just go to specify that C++ provides a base class. Now what is that base class means? That base class here is nothing but exception class. So when we just go to create the object for this base class exception, these objects can be thrown as exceptions. And I already specified there is a base class like exception. This base class was defined in a header file, and that header file is nothing but exception header file. And one more thing, when we just go to specify this one exception class, this exception class consists a virtual member function, and that member function is nothing but named as watch. This function returns a null terminated character sequence. When you just go to override the same function in the derived class in order to specify some sort of the exception, you can. So basically, there is a class exception which is meant to declare the objects, and these objects are thrown as exceptions. And we can call those exceptions are nothing but standard exceptions. Now we'll look at an example. Now look at this. As usual, specify the first statement, include IO string, include exception, the new one here. When you just go to work with the classes named as exception like this, and when you want to go to make use of virtual member function like watch, then definitely you just go to include the header file named as exception. Then using namespace std, come to this. Now here I am deriving a new class my exception. You can specify any name. Here I just go to specify the derived class name is my exception. I am deriving the class from the base class, that is nothing but exception, that too in public mode. Now in this, I just go to specify a virtual function. That's why I'm using the keyword virtual. And here that virtual function is nothing but what function. And I already specified that this function is going to throw the character. This function is going to throw the character. And when it is going to execute the function, it simply displays my exception happened on the output screen. Now look at this. Here I am creating the object for the class my exception, and that object here is nothing but my ex, or simply my x. Then come to the next main function. In the main function, I specify a try block, then throw my x. Now this is my x is nothing much the exception. This is nothing but object which I created for the my exception derived class. So throw my x. When it is going to throw my x, then it is going to handle by cache block. Here in the cache block, it is going to execute a statement e dot watch. E is nothing but the object here. So this is the object of exception e dot what. So again, it is going to execute the what function. So when it is going to execute the what function, simply it is going to display, and it is going to return a statement, and that statement is nothing but my exception happened. So it will going to return, and that particular my exception happened is going to display on the output screen like this. Then return 0, then close brace. So thereby program successfully terminates properly. So this is the way how we just go to work with standard exceptions. And apart from these standard exceptions, still there are some other exceptions out there which are specified in C++ standard library. And those exceptions are nothing but like this here. One is nothing but the bad alloc, which is meant to throw whenever we just go to allocate the memory and that allocation is failure because of new keywords. Then ultimately it specifies the exception, it throws the exception, that is nothing but bad alloc exception. And similarly, there is one more exception named as bad underscore cast. This is thrown by dynamic underscore cast class whenever if it fails in dynamic cast. That indicates it fails in converting from one data type to another data type dynamically. Then this exception bad underscore cast is going to thrown. And similarly, there is a one more exception named as bad underscore exception. This is the exception that is thrown by dynamic exception specifiers. And similarly, type ID. This is nothing but one more exception bad underscore type ID, which is thrown by type identifiers. And similarly, there is a one more exception named as bad underscore function underscore call. This is the exception which is thrown by empty function objects. If it is a function, but that function doesn't consist any objects, then at that time, then it is thrown this exception. Similarly, bad underscore weak underscore PTR. This is the one more exception which is thrown by shade underscore PTR. Whenever there is a bad weak underscore PTR is passed. So these are nothing but different type of exceptions which will comes based on that particular phase dure. Whenever so and so is done wrongly, then ultimately these exceptions will come into the picture. Then come to the next one. This exception header file also defines two generic exception types. What we specified earlier, there is exception header. This exception also derives or also defines two generic exceptions. Those are nothing but logic underscore error, and one more is nothing but runtime underscore error. Logic underscore error that indicates if at all if there is a error related to the internal logic of the program. So internal logic of the program is not handled by at compile time. So it is going to specify at runtime only. So ultimately, if there is a mistake to the internal logic of the program or error to the internal logic of the program, then logic underscore error is going to specify, or logic underscore error exception will comes into the picture. Similarly, if the error is detected at runtime, then there is a one more exception, and that is nothing but runtime underscore error is going to specify it. So likewise, these are nothing but different types of the exceptions. Now look at the example how it is going to specify. Check whether the memory is allocated successfully or not. If it did not, then how it is going to done by means of standard exception. Now look at this one. As usual, the first is nothing but hash include IO stream. When we are going to use standard exceptions, be it classes or functions of standard exceptions or the objects of the standard exceptions, then we have to specify a header file named as hash include exception. Then using namespace std, then main function int main, try block. In the try block, I just go to create the memory by means of new operator of 100 bytes. Sorry, of 1000 bytes. So 1000 into 4000 bytes of integer data type is going to allocate in the name of the object my array. Then just go to specify cache block. If at all if any exception is done, then it is going to throw to the cache block, which is going to handle properly in the cache block by means of what function. We already know what function in the previous example, which is a virtual member function. Then come to the next one. See, when we just go to execute this program, then automatically just go to specify the bad allocation memory like this. This exception is going to throw with one exception, that is nothing much bad underscore alloc exception. This is a standard exception. So it is going to cut at a runtime. So this is the way how we just go to done the means of standard exceptions. If everything is good, it's well and good. If anything is wrong while we just go to create and allocate the memory, then it throws the exception, and that exception is going to handle properly. And that exception type or the exception object is bad underscore alloc exception. Thank you.